No, you do it like you will do it like us. But the way I do it
like us.
I'm like Will Smith, the bad boy. And you're Martin Lawrence. You're married.
I'm Martin Lawrence. I'm married.
Yeah, you're a married man.
Oh, you're the one that's hitting on my sister?
I'm the one that's hitting on your sister. And we're back. I'm Martin Lawrence. I'm
Martin Lawrence.
I'm Will Smith. This is Martin Lawrence, and this is the Bad Boys 2 podcast. What's up, guys? I'm Will Smith.
And I'm Martin Lawrence. Welcome to the podcast.
No, Bean Mafia. Obviously, I know you're confused because I am devilishly handsome, and I look funny. She looks goofy just like Martin Lawrence, and I look beautiful like Will Smith. But that's not who we are, Bean Mafia. You know who we are. I'm Deric Allen Poston to my mother. And this is Samantha Lee Lopez Jr. the fourth. Guys, give it up for Sam. Sam's back on the pod.
Thank you. It's good to be back. Thank you. It's
good to have you back, buddy. Seriously.
I missed it.
We've missed you. I know Brian's been on, and Jeffrey and Hassan, all these other people. Where's Sam?
You haven't seen me in months.
People have been like, everyone's been like, where's Sam? Where's Sam? Every message, every DM.
Really? Thank you, guys.
That's all people want is you. You know what I mean? Are you showing them your feet? Good.
No, I hid them.
Good. You're showing them the crabs. I don't want you, if they ain't getting no free feet, if they ain't paying for it, they ain't getting it. Yeah,
that's for the... Yeah, you have to pay for a episode where I just have my feet. It's just an episode about feet.
Yep. Like you know how people paid $100 for the bonuses?
Yeah.
For the episode that they want? My nigga, you're going to have to pay $100.
Nah, more than that.
No, you have to pay $100 for the bonus episode, and then another $100 per toe.
Okay, I can get behind that. So wait, what if they only want one toe?
$100.
Okay, so we just have one toe out. I cut a hole in my sock. Dope.
They want the whole foot. $600. That's all 5 toes plus the whole foot.
Well, he's the accountant, guys. So
you want a whole picture of Sam's whole foot? $600.
I thought we said $100 a toe.
$100 a toe. 1 foot.
Oh, 1 foot. Oh, okay, so
you want the other foot? That's $1,200. 2 feet.
Okay, so you charge for the base of the foot as well as another $100. So each toe. Okay.
I feel like that's
that
a
seems
fair price.
Fair.
You want a picture of both Sam's feet doing some shit? That's $1,200 plus.
You guys should see me play solitaire on the computer with my feet.
$1,500. She'll do that.
I can do it.
How long the video? A whole game? 1 whole game of solitaire.
I haven't done it since high school, but I think I could.
1 whole game of solitaire with her feet, $1,500. That is a deal you can have from Spoiled Beans. And that is the first ad today. We'll get to the other ads later. Sam.
Yes.
Before we get into the episode, it is customary on the Spoiled Beans podcast to talk about the NBA playoffs.
Oh, yes, it is.
What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think... Okay, so last night, was that the last game for the Jazz?
So last night you saw the Jazz lose to the Clippers without Kawhi.
Without Kawhi. Is that their last game, or do they have one more game?
Huh?
Is that the last game for the Jazz? Are they out now?
No, the Jazz are now down the series 3-2. So it's best of 7.
Ooh, I do like Donovan Mitchell. He's very handsome.
We talked about that for most of the game, is what you thought, how handsome he was.
He didn't think I would find him attractive.
I didn't think he would be your type.
He thinks I'm only into dark men.
No, they're kind of dark. I thought they were a little... I just didn't think they were your kind of type. I just don't know why. I just didn't think him and D-Wade were your type. But she said,
D-Wade is, yeah. They're both cute.
Yeah, she said Paul George grew on her as the game went along.
Paul George looks like... Because you said he looked like a Muppet.
Yeah, he does.
He does look like Bert.
He does.
Specifically.
But he's very athletically built.
Yes,
if Bert was built like, a goddess, a god warrior.
Yeah.
Then people probably be like, yo, Bert's not that bad.
I mean, Bert isn't that bad. If he didn't have such a bad attitude, people would like him more.
Bert's got a bad fucking attitude. That's why people don't like Paul George sometimes. No, Paul George has a great attitude. He just loses. But he's winning. He won last night. He fucking won last night. And then she likes Kawhi.
I love Kawhi.
Yeah. And then Kevin Durant.
I like Kevin Durant.
She likes Kevin Durant, and they're looking good. She does not like Giannis Antetokounmpo. She's not a fan. I'm not a fan either.
He's boring.
He is fucking boring.
The coolest thing about him is his name.
Antetokounmpo. Can you say it?
Antetokounmpo.
Did
I do it right?
Yes.
I could be a sports announcer.
Who's going to win between the Hawks and the Sixers? The Hawks are up 3-2, and they have Trae Young.
And who did the Sixers have?
Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is an Australian guy.
Yeah, I knew that. The Sixers are Philly, right?
Yep.
I think the other team's going to win.
Hawks?
Yeah.
I think so too.
I heard them talking about this last night, actually. After the
Elevator Ernie.
I heard him talking. They were talking shit about the Sixers. And I was like, they probably know what they're talking about. I'm going to go with what they said.
And that's Sam's NBA Hot Takes. That's so funny because this episode is going to come out so long from now.
Oh,
so
yeah.
people are going to be like, the finals are happening. God, babe, I'm so excited to do this episode because, oh my God, the movie I have in store for you today, it's going to blow your mind.
Really?
It's going to blow your socks off.
Yo, really?
These little crab socks, show me little crab socks. It's going
Blown
to blow
off?
these off. These will get blown off of her feet, the episode I have today. So, Sam, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Can you tell me
Uh-huh.
what you think happened
Yes.
in the film?
Mm-hmm. Deric, can you
Sam's
tell
the worst
me?
actor. I'm going to say this now on record. Sam's the worst actor.
Wait,
of
I
all
don't
time.
understand what you wanted me to do.
Well, I was hoping a little improv you'd get it, but she didn't get it.
I didn't get even with the wait. So what did you want me to just? You were wait. I didn't understand what I would have improv from there.
You're supposed to cut me off and then you say, "Actually, Deric."
Oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. I've never done this before.
It's okay, Sam.
Actually, guys, I'm telling the movie today.
What? No.
Deric's
Get
a
outta
really
here.
great actor. I don't know if you guys knew that.
This is the love of my life.
All right, Deric, can you tell me what happens in the movie?
Wait, what? You're really telling me a movie?
Yeah.
What? I prepared a whole movie.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, let's just do that. I'm tired.
No, wait. What,
I don't want to. If you spent all that time this morning working on a movie, I think we should do your movie.
No, wait a minute.
Because I spent a lot of time watching my movie several times, and I'm exhausted now. So I think.
Well, let's not get crazy. I think we should still.
I should just relax.
No, hold on. Wait a minute. I think
I watched my movie like 2.5 times.
Oh, that's a lot, baby.
Just in case. I really didn't need to watch it that many times.
Yeah, our neighbors up top.
I don't know what the fuck they do.
Something's going on up there. I know you guys can't hear. I know this for you. This is out of nowhere, but to us, it's nonstop.
It sounds like they're fucking in every room of the
With
apartment.
bowling balls.
With bowling balls.
Imagine instead of feet. Imagine they're having sex,
Instead
but
of having
they
an
had bowling
ass.
balls. Or asses, they had bowling balls.
Bowling balls for butt cheeks, and they just keep hitting things.
You know what I mean? It's pretty insane. Wait, are you really going to tell me a movie? You really have a movie ready?
I do.
What's your movie?
Deric.
You're going to spoil a movie for
I'm
me?
going
Is
to
this
spoil
a
it.
reverse?
I've never done this before. This is a reverse.
This is a Sam verse. Into the Sam verse.
Into the Sam verse.
Yo, that's pretty dope.
Deric.
That's my name.
Deric Allen Poston.
That's my full
The first and only.
One and only, baby. There will only be one, too. I'm not going to name our son. Our son will not be a junior.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Well, so can I tell this story of how you got named Deric?
Yeah.
So Deric's mother wanted to name him after his father, Rick. And Rick said.
There's only one Rick.
So they named him Deric. They added a D to Rick. Cool, right?
Yep.
So you said there's only one Deric. How would your father feel if I named our son Rick?
I think he would love it.
Yeah, you would probably love that. He'd be
I
like,
think
"Yo, Sam's boss."
But that's not going with the tradition. We're supposed to add something to Deric.
Oh, Derica, our first daughter.
Well, if it's our first daughter, but if it's a son.
Wait, we could do Erica because then you've taken the D away, but you've added something else, so it's still part of the. Because the tradition is just that it's added on to Rick.
Yeah, that's true.
So you're setting the thing for the next person's.
That's true. Just keep setting the standard.
Yeah.
The Rick standard.
The Rick standard.
Shout out to my dad. He's
Yeah, he's a good guy. One
Love
of
you, Ricky
our
Poston.
best listeners.
He is.
Just behind his mom.
Yep. Love you too, Mama. You're the best. I love both my parents, and they're both great listeners.
They are great listeners.
Samantha,
Yes.
are you really about to reverse?
I am. I'm
movies
so
with me?
excited.
Oh my God, I'm about to enter the Sam verse, and I'm so excited as well.
All right,
I feel
Deric.
like Doctor Strange.
Tell me what happens in the movie you've never seen before.
I've never seen it. I guess that's the point of the podcast.
Magic Mike.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I've been thinking about doing this movie since you have suggested we do a reverse. Like a year at least. It's been between this and another movie.
We were in Maine and stuff.
Yeah. I've been contemplating between this and one other movie. And I was like, this is the one.
Oh my God, I've never seen Magic Mike, Sam.
I know. We've talked about it before.
This is crazy. First, Jeffrey does Hot Fuzz, blows my goddamn cap away. Literally, I have no cap. I had to go get a new cap.
You had to get a new cap.
Now, where do I have my Grizzlies at? And now, you're going to spoil Magic Mike. I've always wanted to see this.
You
I
have?
love the people in this.
You know who's in it?
Of course I know who's in
Okay,
it.
tell me what happens.
I've never seen it, but this is what I think happens. In my Magic Mike, I think the movie is about our lead, Channing Tatum.
Channing?
Yeah, Channing Tatum.
You pronounce it Channing?
Channing. That's his name, Channing Tatum.
It's Channing.
Is it
like Chandler? Channing.
Channing. Channing. Channing.
So you go with Charlotte.
Like Charlotte.
Okay. I've always thought it was Channing. Like
maybe it is
Chandler
or who knows?
It could be
Mr. Tatum.
Channing.
Starring him, and he is a struggling guy down on his luck. He wants to see his daughter. You know, they always want to see their kid. He wants to see his kid. He's down on his luck. Times are hard. And he runs into this other guy who lives in his building. It's very much Wolf of Wall Street. He runs into this other guy in his building who's got money, who looks sharp, who looks successful.
Who is it?
And that man, one of the greatest actors of all time, Mr. Matthew McConaughey. All right. So then, Matthew, he's like, man, why do you look so sharp and successful? And Matthew's like, man, I do what I do and I move my body. and then Channing Tatum's like, what's that mean? He goes, how much is that watch? He's like, $100,000 watch, $100,000 car, $100,000 lifestyle, brother. It's all a mentality. And he's like, man, you show me a bank receipt right now for $100,000. I call my boss.
Well, is this fucking Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh, maybe that's just okay. Yeah. Okay, but he says something.
He started hitting his chest.
He's like, no. He quits his job and he's like, yo, where do you work? And he takes him to his job and he's a male stripper. And he's like, man, I'm not doing this gay shit. And he's like, man, gay shit, straight shit, all the same, brother. It ain't nothing but a little green,
Oh, dude, I love this.
And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, whoa. And everybody's like hot and their bodies are hot. And they start stripping and he shows them a show and he strips for women and how much money they make. And Channing Tatum's like, all right. And then he gets into the lifestyle. And then the lifestyle is too dark. It's too deep. It's almost like that movie, A Players Club.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, he gets too deep. And Matthew McConaughey, rapes him. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't rape him. He, touches his butthole. And he's like, hey, man, I thought you said no gay stuff. And he's like, man, whether it's gay or straight, man, it's all just green. And he's like, yeah, dude, but don't put your fingers in my butthole. And then they have a big fight at the end. And Channing Tatum beats him up. And he learns a lesson that stripping's really about your heart.
Whoa.
In relationships.
Dude.
And that's my Magic Mike.
You definitely didn't get it all wrong. I'm going to be honest. You hit a lot of the main points. He doesn't have a kid.
Okay, well, don't tell me too much.
Okay, I won't tell you too much, but no. Are you ready? Or do we have bills to pay first?
Oh, my God, we do have bills to pay, but I'm so excited I almost don't want to pay them. But that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Childish. Yeah, we got to be strippers and throw some money at people.
And well, people are throwing money at us.
That's actually what it is. Well, we're the strippers.
We're the strippers in this situation. But we have to shake our ass. It's like you can't expect people to throw money at you and you're not shaking your butt and your tits.
Oh, for sure.
And if there's only one man I shake my ass for.
Who is
it? I shake my tits for.
Who?
And that's Darren Bates.
Oh, yes, it is. And don't we all?
NFL player, my best bud, Darren Bates. DARENBATES. And all he wants from you, he wants one thing.
What is it?
He wants me to shake my ass and my titties. And I do that for him. But what he wants from you, all he wants from you is to go to your Instagram, hit the search bar, type in his name, Darren Bates, DARENBATES, at Westlandson_56 will pop up. You hit that, you hit follow, you send him a message, and you say what, Sam?
The Bean sent me.
And that's all he wants. He literally doesn't want anything else from you. He wants nothing else. He is a great man. He likes it when I clap my cheeks for him, like I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm. He's doing it. You can't see, but he's clapping them.
But they're clapping, baby. And he pays the bills. He makes sure this podcast is up and running. Mm-hmm. He makes sure 2 episodes a week come out. He makes sure there's lights. He makes sure there are cameras. He makes sure that everyone is focused on the job and not just having gay sex
all the time
with butter all the time.
Yeah,
we could be doing that, but we don't.
We could be doing that.
He pays the bills to make sure we stay focused.
That is why we had to ask Hassan to leave the show.
That is why we asked Hassan to leave the show.
Yeah.
That is why he died. Guys, Darren Bates, he also has one of the best podcasts in the world, the Raw Room podcast.
Raw Room.
Raw Room, guys. Raw Room, everything Raw Room right now. Raw Room in your motherfucking face.
It's raw.
It is raw, and it's a room, and it's happening right now. It's a great podcast. I've been on it. Great guests like Malcolm Butler, great guests like Will Compton, great guests like Andre Reed, great guests like Jason Weaver, the original guy who did all the original songs of The Lion King. He's had amazing guests on, and it's a great podcast. So go show him some love, Bean Mafia. He shows us love. We show him love. That is how this operation works. You tell him the Bean sent you. Mm-hmm. Sam, I'm high.
Are you?
Yeah, you didn't smoke any weed before this.
I didn't. I was afraid I would forget everything I learned.
Well, that's my babe, and that's how her brain works, and we don't judge her for that.
Thank you.
But I'm Stony Baloney with some weed and some wax, and there's only one place I get my weed from, Sam.
Where's that?
Happy Canary.
I love that place.
Oh, our boy Hayden, he's in town. He'll be
He's
at my.
here?
Yeah, I'll be performing tonight at the Death Squad show. Red Band's. You guys know Red Band, famous Red Band.
Famous
Red Band, guy who started Joe Rogan's podcast and all the fun stuff.
He's on Kill Tony.
Kill Tony. Red Band. It's Red Band.
He's famous.
Does Holtzman's podcast.
Look him up.
It's fucking Red Band. Well, Red Band is the best, and he puts. I'm lucky enough to do a show tonight at the Vulcan Gas Company in downtown Austin. His Death Squad show, The Secret Show, which always has famous people on it. You never know. Like cool. Tonight, it could be Ron White, could be Rogan, could be fucking. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's always some random, but you never know who's going to be on it. But I'm really excited to do it. And wait, why did I bring it up?
Because Hayden's going to be there.
Oh, my boy Hayden's
guy
gonna
who
be there.
gets who sells our weed.
That's why I forgot. That's how good the product is. Right
it's
there.
so
Y'all saw it
good.
live.
He couldn't remember what he was.
You saw the product in action, and that's marketing. That's real marketing.
Happy Canary. They
grow
grow all their own stuff
in Maine.
In Maine,
it's the best stuff.
Who knew?
They keep
Maine.
us fluffy and light. And
Oh my
walking on
God!
air.
I've never had better weed. It's always good.
Happy Canary.
And they sell wholesale, so
right.
hit them up, Hayden.
Sam.
Yes.
Strip. No, Strip the movie.
Oh, Strip the movie. Okay, you guys ready?
I am ready.
All right.
I'm sure the Bean Mafia also screamed with enlightenment because I am fucking ready, like Eddie Murphy in that movie that he's ready for.
Okay. We start out. You see the old school Time Warner logo come up on the screen. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
It's not really that important.
That's so funny. Jeffrey did the same thing. It's so funny that you both thought it was necessary to mention that. But keep going.
Well, mine doesn't say the title in the thing, and you always have the title on yours.
Sometimes the title comes up later. You never know.
It never comes up.
Okay.
As the Time Warner logo is still on the screen, you hear a voice kind of like yelling. He's like, "Let's fucking get it on, right? Come on!" And then we see a man on stage from behind, and he's like wearing like this sexy like cowboy outfit, you know.
Oh, I seen that from the trailer.
Yeah. He's got like the leather vest and
Yeah.
like the hat, and he's like, "Now I'm gonna go over a few rules with y'all tonight. These are the rules of what you can touch and what you can't touch."
Ooh, I'm excited.
And so he's like rubbing on his chest, and
Ooh,
like,
what
we
can I
still haven't
touch?
seen his face yet. Although you do know who it is as soon as you hear his voice.
Oh, man, I know
the
that
voice
boy.
is so familiar.
Yeah.
They try to put off
Yeah.
who it is, so you don't see his face yet. You just see his hands on his chest, and he's rubbing his chest. He's like, "Can you touch this? Can you touch this, ladies?" And the women are like, "Woo!" The women.
I'm like that.
And then he wags his finger. He's like, "No, no, 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 no." And then he flips around and you like see him like grabbing his ass. And this is when you first start like seeing him in full view while he's grabbing his ass and looking over his shoulder. He's like, "Can you touch this, ladies?" Ooh. And they're like, "Ah, no, 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 no." And then he comes around and he grabs his crotch real like,
Oh my God.
He's like, "Now can you touch this?" And like the room is like lit the fuck up.
Oh my God.
And he's like, "Well, that's
Matthew
what
McConaughey's peeper.
He says, "Well, that's what the law says. You cannot touch." But I see a whole lot of lawbreakers in this room tonight.
Oh, yeah, I'm a lawbreaker, Matthew. I'm a lawbreaker.
And not a cop in sight. And then it's like, "Woo!" And then the screen goes black, and then you just see the words June.
That's awesome. Great
Yeah,
start.
great opening.
I am bona fide up.
Yeah, you're bona
Somebody's going to
fide
have to make love to me after this episode.
All right.
Somebody.
We're in a bedroom. Channing Tatum wakes up. It's morning. He's kind of like, he's completely naked.
How do you know he's completely naked?
Well, you see his chest first, and then he gets out of bed, and you watch his ass walk into the bathroom.
They show the butt cheeks.
Oh, they show it.
They show that shot like they show it in Will Smith in iRobot. The shot where the guy goes into the shower and they show the butt cheeks.
Because they know that's all we want. We don't want to see his dick.
No, it's too much. It's like, that's aggressive.
Yeah, it is aggressive.
It's not like a woman's body. A woman's body is so pleasant naked.
Well, his body from behind is very pleasant.
No, but I'm saying once you saw the penis, it's like
it's a little abrupt.
It doesn't matter who it is. It's like, oh, now it's abrupt. Whereas a woman, there's nothing out poking at you.
You're right. There's no poking.
Boobies.
Yeah. So he walks to the bathroom. He's clearly like a little hungover, like this. Scene kind of shifts, and he's like shaving his pubes.
Okay.
And then you see a woman in the hallway talking to him, and she's like, I have to buy a whole new pair of, I have to go home commando today because someone had to rip my panties. And the woman is Olivia Munn.
Ooh, she's hot.
She is hot. And she doesn't have a shirt on. You see her tits.
No way.
Yo, she has perfect boobs.
Wait, these are real, Olivia Munn's real boobers?
Yeah, she's done an article about why she doesn't feel comfortable that she did this. She feels wrong.
Why'd she do it?
She did it because they paid her a lot, and then the Me Too movement happened, and she did an interview saying why she shouldn't have done it.
Well, also, didn't you say that this is a good movie too?
I think it's a good movie.
But I mean, it was a huge movie.
It was a huge movie. It is a good movie. The second movie is for fun. This is actually a movie. This is a film.
So that's why she did it. It's like you read the script, you liked it, and you made a lot of money.
Exactly.
That's why you showed your tits.
Mm-hmm. And the shots are really good. It's very warm light. I don't know. You can look that up. I didn't even think to look that up. You always look that kind of shit up.
That's so funny. You guys saw it on live that it was still my fault somehow. You always look that kind of shit up. Yeah, you're right, I guess.
No, I said it more like I didn't even think to.
Steven Soderbergh did this?
Yeah.
Holy shit. He's like a real director.
Okay. So now you're on board.
I was already on board.
So they're getting dressed. Olivia Munn is like kind of flirting with him, like, and they're like, chatting back and forth. And then we pan over to the bed. We see there's another naked woman in the bed, and she's like, "What are we gonna do about her?"
They had a threesome with a woman?
And Mike's like, I don't know. What's her name again? Like they're trying.
Wait, his name's Mike.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum's Mike.
Okay, Channing Tatum's Mike. Sorry.
It's okay.
He's like, I don't know. You found her. What's her name? And she's like, you don't remember her name? And he's like, you don't remember her name. And they're like whispering back and forth. And then she goes, Penelope. And she doesn't wake up. And they just leave her in the bedroom and they go downstairs and make themselves food. And they're like chatting and like Olivia's like being all flirty. And she's like, oh, what's this furniture you have here? Are her
still out?
No, she's dressed now.
Okay.
They've gotten dressed now. They're downstairs having breakfast. And she's like, what's this? This is a cool coffee table you have here. And he's like, oh, that's just a bunch of stuff that blew up on the beach. And she's like, you made this? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you should like sell this shit. And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Mike's Custom Furniture. I've thought of that.
Wow, I love this backstory that this nigga's handy. Okay, keep going.
I thought of that, but like the bank isn't really like offering me the kind of loans I want yet. So I'm just kind of like waiting it out until, I can swoop in and get the loans I want. And then I'll, open up my business. And she's like, okay, that's cool. And she kind of like blows it off.
I'm so into this movie already. This is awesome.
And then he says, I got to get out of here. Will you guys be all right? And she's like, you're just going to leave us here? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, you're going to leave strangers in your place? And he's like, what, are you going to steal a bunch of shit? And she's like, maybe. And he's like, well, don't do that. And
they're strangers, these two girls?
He barely knows them. They're just women he's fucking.
But they don't know each other, the two girls.
Nah.
That's even more interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's like, of course, I feel like most threesomes, and I don't know. I feel like most threesomes, two people know each other at least.
I think it
very
seems
rare
like
is it all three strangers. I feel like
he and Olivia Munn's character had know each other before this, but not well. Like this is the only reason they know each other is for fucking and for fucking in groups. Like this is what they do.
This is almost like a fuck collection.
Yeah, kind of.
That's weird.
It gives the impression that they've done this a bunch of times.
Okay.
Because he said you found her with the other girl.
Never mind. All right, because I'm thinking these are three. Because it's like that's even more impressive that three strangers who've never ever have sex. That's like insane to pull off.
Olivia Munn and Channing Tatum are clearly like they've done this before, but that's all they do together. They're not friends.
Okay, I'm with it now.
So he's leaving for work. He outside it's beautiful. It's sunny. He lives near the beach.
California?
That's what I thought at first, but he's in Florida.
That makes sense. Strippers.
He's driving to work. He pulls up to this construction site, and And he's like got all this construction shit, you know, and he's walking up and he's talking to the foreman and he's like, who the fuck are all these new guys? And they're like, oh, you know, I got them from some referrals. And he's like, that's bullshit. You got them off Craigslist. And then like this young kid walks up and the kid like clearly doesn't know what he's doing. Damn. Mike's like, he's wearing tennis shoes, you know. He's like, and the guy's like, come on, I'll pay you $18 to take care of these guys and make it work today. He's like, you'll pay me $20. And then, so it's Mike and this kid on the top of the roof and they're tiling a roof. And he's asking the kid, like, have you ever tiled a roof before? And the kid's like, no.
Damn.
And
it's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. And so it's pretty much Mike just doing it. They're doing some small talk back and forth. The day ends. The kids get in trouble with the foreman because apparently he took too many sodas from the, like they have like a canister at, like it's open and you're allowed to take one soda. Yeah. And also this guy, the young kid, he's cute. He's you've never seen him before. He's not like I don't think he does anything anymore. He reminds me of my brother Nicholas.
Hilarious.
A lot. Like his attitude, his vibe, like this this voice.
Oh, I know that kind of guy. I met your brother. I love him to death.
Everything.
Go back and watch one of the episodes with his shirt off. There's an episode.
This kid's a lot like, except he has blonde, sandy hair, but the same kind of like build, sort of, and look. And so he's kind of getting in trouble with the foreman. He goes to his car. His car won't start. So Mike's like, I'll help you. They can't get it started. So Mike's driving him home. Okay. And they're in the car together. And he's like asking the kids like questions like, where are you from? And he's like, Citrus Grove. And Mike's like, did you play ball? And
I think.
No, they're in Tampa.
Tampa, okay.
Did you play ball? And he's like, yeah, I played. Did I write it down? Strong safety.
Yes.
It's like a strong safety one. I remember him. I play strong safety, and he's like, you don't look like a strong safety. And then, you know, like just like banter. And then the kid starts to peel, like, you know, this plastic stuff that's on that there, like how on like computers and stuff, there'll be a film.
Yeah.
He starts to peel the plastic off Mike's car. Mike's like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, it doesn't even need to be on there. He's like, it's fucking new, and it's gonna stay that way. If you don't pull it apart, I'll take it off when I sell it.
Yeah.
And so that's like their whole kind of interaction. Yeah. Like that's the vibe between them. Like, oh, he's a child
and he's a man,
and Mike's like a man.
But,
I just said all this stuff. Oh, so the kid says, oh, I was gonna go to college, and he's like, oh, the lure of the tiling business got you. He's like, more like the lure of my sister's couch.
Yeah.
And so they pull up to his sister's house. Mike drives off. And all the shots are like this in the movie, where you hear the dialogue before you see anything. Like you're in the last scene, but you're hearing the dialogue from the next scene before you're in that scene. He does that a lot. So you're hearing the kid, whose name is Adam, talking to his sister from inside, even though we're just looking at Mike driving off. And you hear him saying, "I'm gonna need you to. Can you take me to work tomorrow? I need to pick up my car." And she goes, "I have a date. I'm getting dinner with Paul, but I can take you tomorrow." And then they're inside, and she's like, "What happened to your car?" And he says, like, it went out. And she's like, "Well, I can take you to work before. What time do you have to work?" And he's like, "I have to tell you about that. I quit the job. And she's like, "What?" And he's like, you know, like the guy accused me of stealing, you know, I'm not fucking working for that guy. And the sister's like 30. Like they're also the age difference between them is like me and my brother Nicholas. The sister's clearly like maybe like 30 or in her late 20s. And he is like 19, 20, 21.
Okay.
And she's just trying to help him. That's the vibe of like, she's like, okay, well, what about this other job? And he's like, they all want me to wear a tie. And you know I don't wear ties. And she's like, what do you want me to do? And then he starts like playing with her and like, oh, maybe I could do. And she's like, what? He's like, what'd you hear? She's like, don't do that thing. And then they have like this kind of like brother sister, like, oh, this is our inside joke, you know, thing. And she's like, well, why don't you come with me to dinner with Paul tonight? Maybe some of his friends from work can help you get a job.
Okay.
So the scene flashes, and they're out to dinner with her boyfriend, Paul. And he sucks immediately. Like, he's just talking. You know these guys that they just talk about their work like they're like God's gift to whatever they do?
He's a business guy?
Yeah, he's a business guy.
I know this kind of guy, yeah.
And when the scene starts, he's talking about insurance. I didn't notice this the first time I watched it, but when I rewatched it, I was thinking about it. He's saying, these people think, he says, to write it down, these people think that they're owed more money, but I have to be the one to tell them they can't rebuild their houses. I'm almost certain he's referring to the people who lost their homes in Katrina because of the time period and where they are.
Yeah.
So it's like, yo, this guy sucks.
He's a bad person.
He sucks so big. So then he's like, I don't want to talk about that stuff. I hate talking about insurance stuff. And she's like, me too. And he's like, well, those big kind of insurance claims are a little bit different than like the medical insurance claims you have to deal with. To the girl, like belittling her. She's also like a beautiful girl. I know I haven't gone into her. You don't know her either. She never does anything after this. She looks like the girl from Disturbia.
Okay.
She's just a beautiful blonde girl. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
She looks like she plays like volleyball or swims.
I believe it.
So he like belittling her and saying like her job's like not as big as his job. And then she like goes to have a drink because she's annoyed. And he's like, hey, we talked about this, right? And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And he's like, I've just been driving all week. I need you to drive home tonight. I can't have to be worried about like, did you drink too much? And he's like just such an asshole to her. And then he gives her drink to her brother, who's not spoken the whole time. He's just watching this all unfurl.
Okay.
And her brother like chugs the drink and he gets up and he walks out of the dinner. And she's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm leaving. And he just fucking walks out. And he's walking down the street and they're like in like a downtown kind of area, like a 6th Street type area. And you
6th
just...
Street in Austin, Texas.
Like a 6th Street, Austin, Texas, where it's, you know, like all the clubs are.
Downtown.
Everyone's like fucked up. Everyone's waiting in line for a club. He sees this big line with all these girls in it for this one club, and he sees Mike there. And Mike is dressed like fucking Joe Rogan. You know how Joe Rogan dresses with like those button-up shirts that like almost don't fit?
Yeah.
That is how Mike dresses whenever he's dressed up in this show, in the movie.
That's funny.
Every time I see him in one of those, I'm like, God, did he and Joe Rogan go shopping together like for this movie? So he's got like that like kind of outfit on, like the big chest, the button up shirt that almost doesn't fit because he's so fucking muscular. And Adam, that's the kid's name. His name is Adam. Adam sees him and he's like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just hanging out at this club. And the kid's like, can you get me in? And Mike's like, not dressed like that. The kid's wearing like a sweatshirt. He's got tennis shoes on again. Yeah. Like he can't go into a club. He wouldn't have the dress code.
I feel you, yeah.
And then the kid's like, he looks down. Mike feels bad for him. He's like, tuck your shirt in. I'll see if I can get you in. And he knows the guy at the door, so he gets him in.
Okay.
He's like, you owe me. They get in. They're like walking around. Mike sees these hot girls he knows. He goes up and he's talking to them. He's like, what do you think of this kid? And the girls are like, oh, the Cougars are going to love him. And the kid doesn't know what they're talking about. Yeah. And Mike's like, oh, that's high praise. That's great. And he's like, hey, kid, why don't you go talk to those girls over there? Just go talk to them. And he's like, well, what do you want me to say? And he's like, I don't care what you say. Just go up and talk to them. Oh, where am I?
You're right there.
Oh, yeah. Be creative. Well, you've never talked to, you've never spoken to a girl before. Be creative. And so,
it's so funny.
I can't believe you're reading this as I'm telling you.
Well, because you get like,
because I remember what's happening, and then I come back and
I'm like, you gotta move this.
Oh no, I'm so far off.
You're so funny.
And I was like, he's like, she doesn't look like she wants to be bothered, and he's like, she's wearing a sash that says 21 and a tiara. She wants to be bothered.
That's true.
Go talk to her. So he goes and he's like talking to these girls at the bar, and the girls are just like really, 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 really drunk, you know, just like, we can't get a drink. You know that? It's my 21st birthday and we've been waiting at this bar for drinks. Who do I have to fuck to get a drink? And Adam's like, I hope me. And they're like, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Whoa.
And they're kind of like talking to him, like they're kind of into him. And then Mike swoops in and he's got 4 shots. And he's like, hey, do you girls want these shots? And they all take a shot together. And he's like, what are you guys doing tonight? you want to come see a bit of a show? It's kind of crazy. And he hands them these flyers, and it's got like a man's chest on it, and it says exquisite. And this is the first time Adam realizes what's going on, like what it is that Mike actually does.
What does he do?
He's a stripper. So he sees the flyers and like clocks that, and the girls are like, "Are you serious?" And they're like, "We have a lot of friends. Can they come too?" And Mike's like, "How many?" And he's like 8 or 9. He's like, "Yes, bring them all. That's perfectly fine. Bring these." He's like clearly barking for his show, you know. And they're like, "Okay, well maybe we'll come." And Mike's like, "No, that's not a commitment." And they're like, "Well, we'll come if your little friend comes." And Adam's like, "Me?" And then Mike's like, "Oh, he'll be there." And so they walk out, and Adam's like, "Dude, what? You're a fucking stripper?" And he's like, "Dude, I thought you were going to shit the bed, but you did it. You got all those women there? Dude, I feel like I owe you. I might have to pay you out at the end of the night. You know, if you want to host, I could probably get you $100, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Host? Host what?" They walk up to a standalone club. It looks kind of like how the Comedy Store does, except it's white. It's completely painted white. It's got palm trees all around it. When they approach the club, there's like a line of women outside, like so long, like a Comedy Store line.
Yeah.
Like that's how many people are waiting to get in.
Oh my God.
And when they come up to the front door, all the women are like, "Hey, Mike! Oh, Mike! Mike!"
And they're all young, 20s?
No, they're all different ages.
30s, some 40s?
I would say most women are probably in their late 20s, and then even more.
Late 20s?
Yeah, like
okay.
it's definitely attracting 30s and 40s mostly.
Yeah, because the young 20s aren't going to a strip club.
No, most of the women look like they're my age.
Yeah. Which is they're out the women who will go to this kind of thing.
That is the kind of age group that goes to the strip club. So all the women are like really into Mike, and then the shot pans up, and you see that it says like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, $15 in advance, $20 at the door. So they're making kind of a lot of money. This is supposed to be like the early 2000s. So inside you hear like Mike.
It's not including the tip money.
No, it's not including the tip money.
That's the real money, is the tip money.
So as he's walking in, Mike explaining how the club works. He's like, "Yo, the owner, he doesn't choreograph any of my stuff, but he choreographs everyone else's stuff."
Interesting.
And the owner is obviously McConaughey, and that's who we see when he's walking in.
He's the owner.
He's the owner.
Whoa. He's not just, he owns this bitch.
He owns it. He's the owner. And he's like got this fire thing in his hand, and he's like, "Mike, you want this? I think this is a really cool routine." And he's like, "If not, I'll give it to Tarzan." And you're like, "Who's Tarzan?" You know? And Mike's like, "Nah, but you should give it to someone. It looks really cool." And Mike introduces the kid to him. And he's like, "Who's this?" And the kid's like, "I'm Adam." And he's like, "How old are you?" He's like, 19. He's like, "I can't put a fucking 19-year-old on the floor to host. I can get locked up for that shit, you know?" Uh-huh. He's underage. And Mike's like, "Come on. He helped me get a bunch of girls here. Can we at least put him on props?" He's like, "Fine, he can do props, but you do whatever the fuck they want. If they tell you to clean the toilets, you clean the toilets. If they want you to suck their dicks, you suck their dicks, you know?"
Damn, Matthew McConaughey says that?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dog. I like a nigga who says some shit like that when he owns a business. Like, no, nigga, if I tell you to suck your dick, you should get dick, nigga.
So they go to the back where all the other strippers are, and Mike's like, "Hey guys, this is the kid. He's going to be helping out around here." And then he's like, "This is Big Dick Rick. This is Ken. This is Tito and Tarzan." So Big Dick Rick is the guy from True Blood who was like a wolf guy.
I never saw True Blood.
Okay. You know the woman from Modern Family?
Yes.
The hot one? What's her name?
Sofia Vergara.
Sofia Vergara. He's married to her.
In real life?
In real life.
Okay, well, I don't know who he is.
So just imagine like a really big, burly, attractive Italian man.
Big Dick Rick.
Big Dick Rick. That's Big Dick Rick. If you saw him, you'd know who he was. His name's like Joe Manganiello. I can't pronounce it. It's Italian. The guy who plays Ken is the guy from. Do you ever see the show Blue Collar?
No.
Okay, he's a really cute guy. He looks like a Ken doll, but brunette. And then his name is Matt Bomber. And then Adam Rodriguez was like a guy in CSI Miami who you probably would recognize, but I don't know if he's in anything else. And he plays the Tito guy. And then Kevin Nash, the wrestler dude.
Yeah, I love Kevin Nash.
He's Tarzan.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's Tarzan. And so all the guys are like getting ready and like, they're explaining everything to him. Kevin Nash is like playing around with Adam like, "Oh yeah, if you're going to be here to do stuff, you got to like rub these ashy elbows and legs of mine." And the kid, like, he convinces him that he has to do it. And then as soon as he touches him, everyone laughs, like one of those kind of things. So Mike's explaining everything he's going to have to do. And while he's explaining like what props he needs and stuff, you see the big dick Rick guy like pumping up his dick in the background.
His actual dick?
The way it is, you see him making the face like he's pumping it. And then you see another shot where in the peripheral of the shot, you see a dick being pumped up, but you don't see him. So it's probably not his.
Yes, that's hilarious.
So as this is all happening, Gabriel Iglesias comes in.
Fluffy?
Fluffy's there.
Fuck yeah.
He's the DJ.
That's awesome.
Obviously not stripping. Although that would be fucking amazing.
That would have been even better. But I love that they have a comedian in this.
So he's in it, and he's like a big drug guy. He comes in and he's like, hey, I got some hay juice. And the kid's like, what's hay juice? And he's like, when you drink it, it makes you go, hey.
The fuck? Is he gay?
No, I don't know. They never talk about that.
Okay.
You never see him hooking up with anyone really either. He could be. He's very flamboyant the whole time.
Then he might be.
But not in like a way that makes me think he's gay.
But I can't trust you, though.
Yeah, I have terrible gaydar.
Yeah.
So they all take the hay juice and they're like, oh, it's just like it's like taking a shot, but even more intense. You know, it's like this way you don't have to drink all night. It gets you loose right away. So the show starts. McConaughey's, as the show starting, you hear McConaughey going, all right, all right, all right.
Fuck yeah. I love that they did. Good job, Soderbergh. Way to put that in the movie.
Yeah, come on. It's going to rain. It's going to come down and wash away the ash. So get out your purses, lady, and let's spend some motherfucking cash. And then he says, welcome to the stage, the one, the only, the cock-rocking kings of Tampa. And then you hear the song It's Raining Men start, you know, and temperature is rising. And Channing Tatum's the first one out on the floor. And he's dressed in a complete like pants and like a full raincoat, like an old fashioned one you'd see like a detective kind of wear with a hat. So he's got that and he's got the umbrella. And the umbrella is also being held where his dick is. Yeah. And he's out. And then another one, the next line in the song happens. Another guy comes out and then until they're all out. And then they dance, obviously, to It's Raining Men. When there's a lot of choreography with like umbrellas opening and spinning. And then...
Can they all dance? Is it like well choreographed?
It is well choreographed, but it is very, very obvious that Channing Tatum is the only one who really dances. But that's also important for the story.
Okay. Because
all these guys are out there and they're gyrating and they're hot. But you watch Channing Tatum, like, because he's the center of attention. Everything he does is like no one can do that. Yeah. Only Channing Tatum can do this.
Because he can actually dance.
He can actually dance. So they have this like crazy, amazing, you know, they take off all their clothes, obviously. And they're opening up the umbrellas and spinning them. You know, how you kind of imagine it going.
I do imagine it.
And then after the song's done, you hear the next song they go into is Booty Work. Let me see your booty work, booty work, booty work. And they don't like do a dance to this. They just start gyrating and they get off stage and like humping the women. Yeah. Like it's like the movement into the next part of the show.
Fuck yeah.
As this is all happening, you see Adam on the side of the stage just watching like, if only this were me. Like that's the look he's got, like just complete admiration. Like this is amazing, you know?
This is the life.
Just in all of their lives. And then you hear this like dun 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 because it's like a montage is about to happen. So you have like generic rock music. And we just see the whole show play out like piece by piece kind of. So each person's routine. Like the Hispanic guy, the guy from CSI Miami, he comes out and he's dressed up as a cop and he brings a woman onto stage and he strips in front of her. And this is a part that really, I for some reason sticks out to me in this movie. He takes his pants off and shakes his ass in his thong, but his ass is like really loose. Okay. So it like it flows. I felt like that was important to tell you.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought it to the Bean Mafia.
Yeah. Then the Ken guy's routine, he's literally a Ken doll. He's like in a box and then they open him up and he comes out like this and he takes strips that way like a Ken doll.
Amazing.
Which is funny. Channing Tatum's is like insane. He jumps out. He looks like a road worker with like the orange vest. That's all he has on, his orange vest and like the jeans. And he's got a sledgehammer and he like pulls it over his head and puts it back from this way and pops it out from underneath his legs and like kind of like
that's hilarious.
Back and forth, you know? And then he jumps from that position into this like sort of sliding position. See, this is why I had to wear pants, where his legs are kind of like open and there's a woman by the stage. So he puts his crotch in her face. And it's amazing. Like, you're like, how did he even slide into a place where he could put a woman's crotch in his face?
Jackie Chan of stripping.
The Big Dick Rick guy, his whole act is in front of like a screen. So you don't really see him. You just see his silhouette. And there's a woman sitting on stage the whole time who gets to see behind the screen. They've invited someone up. And the end of his routine is he just takes off his pants and his dick is like massive. It just falls.
They show a penis?
No, you just see the silhouette.
Hilarious.
You see the silhouette of his massive dick just falling, and then the montage ends with just the woman like,
hilarious.
like in complete awe. Like, because a penis, when seen in the right situation, can be the most beautiful sight to a woman, Deric.
What about in the wrong situation?
That could ruin it.
And that's the words of Michael Scott.
Those are the words of Michael Scott. All right, so McConaughey is on stage and he's about to bring up the next act, and it's not montage anymore, it's like live. And he's got a bongo drum between his legs, like boom, 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 and he's going, ooh, ha, ooh, ah, ooh, ah, Tarzan! But Tarzan doesn't come. And he goes, Tarzan! No Tarzan. He's backstage, and the guys are all crowded around Kevin Nash. And he's on the floor, and McConaughey's like, what the fuck? And the guys are like, what do we do? And he's like, fuck. Get him up. And he's like, we can't. And they're like, God damn, how many fucking times? And he's like, Ken, what about that S&M routine you have? Can you do that? And Ken's like, I told you. I don't want to put that kind of fucking energy out there. That bad energy comes back to you. I just thought that's the funniest line in the whole movie. Then Richie's, he's like, Richie, that fire breathing thing. And then Richie's like, I'm afraid of fire. He's like, Tito, aren't you working on any of that south of the border shit? Tito's like, I've been working on some stuff, but it's not ready. Fuck. Mike, what do you got? And Mike's like, I just came off stage. He's like, Mike, give me an idea. And Mike's like, you want an idea? And he's like, yeah. He takes the kid and then he walks onto stage and he's like, just get out there and take off your clothes. He pushes the kid out there. Oh, and he also tells him, you still owe me.
Hilarious.
Before he pushes him out there. So the kid's out there and he's like, just start taking off your clothes. Like from behind the curtain. And Like a Virgin starts playing. Like a virgin. And then he like starts to like strip, but the most awkward stripping you've ever seen. Also, you've just seen all these like master strippers in a beautiful montage of stripping and like the most creative stripping you've ever seen.
Amazing.
And now you see this kid in like a sweatshirt and jeans and tennis shoes because he's still dressed like he was earlier. Just like kind of taking off his clothes. And the women are like into it though. Because you can tell he's clearly never done it before. Uh-huh. And they're playing Like a Virgin. Everyone knows he's never done it before. And so he's kind of getting into it. He finally gets down and like takes off all his clothes. He's just in his like little undies. He's got like boxer briefs on. Uh-huh. And he turns around and he just flashes his butt. And this is my favorite part of it. He flashes his butt and they show a shot of McConaughey just like nodding like in approval. Like
good job.
Good job.
This kid knows
That's exactly what you should do. And so Adam's all cocky now that he's like getting into it. So he gets off the stage and he straddles one of those girls that he was talking to at the club earlier and he kisses her. And the room goes wild, and it's great. It's great. So he gets back and he's backstage and everyone's like, yes, like you did it, blah, blah, blah. And then you hear from the stage, McConaughey going, all right, ladies, you know what time it is. It's hot seat time. And they put all the guys from earlier come out with seats for the women, and the women pay to get up and sit in these chairs and have lap dances in front of everyone else. Okay. So at the end of the night, the guys have so much money in their underwear. Like it's
good for them, like strippers.
It's like strippers, so much money. Like I just don't. Also,
Atlanta shit.
I don't understand how do they? There's so much money on the floor when they leave. Where does that money go? Is someone coming up and sweeping the money that is left on the floor? Okay. Well, they didn't show that in the movie.
Well, they don't show that, but in real life, they sweep it up at the end, and then they split it and they count it and all that shit.
McConaughey comes up to the kid and hugs him. He's like, "Never kiss the girls, kid." And he's like, "But you took a chance, and it was worth it." And
he's right about never kissing them.
You don't kiss the girls. You learned that in Pretty Woman.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing you know.
You don't kiss.
You don't kiss.
No mouth kiss. So it's after the show. They're all hanging out in the club, kind of like chilling, drinking, like you do. Mike and McConaughey are in one corner counting the money. Like clearly Mike is the number 2, 100%. And they're kind of talking about the books and discussing Adam. They're like, he can't dance for shit, but he's young and we could use some youth on the team, you know? So Dallas is like, bring him to practice tomorrow. We'll see what he's got. And Mike says, well, what about going to Miami? And Dallas kind of like blows it off. He says this like, oh yeah, we're definitely doing it. Miami. And he's like, and he like, just like kind of the BS people say, kind of like how at the beginning when Mike was saying the BS as to why he didn't do the furniture. They're very similar.
Dallas is Matthew McConaughey, right?
Dallas is Matthew McConaughey. I didn't say his name was Dallas. Dallas is Matthew McConaughey.
It's okay.
So Dallas is just kind of bullshitting him about like, yeah, things are coming through. And Mike's like, what do you need on my side? He's like, you just keep doing what you're doing. You're a big brother to this team. You keep up the good work and a lot more will be than just getting this door money. So then a montage starts of their night following the show, and they hook up with those girls that they met at the club earlier. In the tiara. Adam definitely gets his dick sucked. We don't know. I don't think they have sex with any of the women because they never go back to like anywhere. They're always at the club or they're out doing stuff.
But it's just they're getting laid. They're getting their dick sucked.
Definitely got their dick sucked. At dawn, they watch the sun come up from this bridge, and then Mike jumps into the water, and Adam jumps in after him. And it's just like a man date almost, you know? They're like, they got some, they hung out together, and then they're in the water, the montage is ended, and Adam's like, hey, I think we should be friends.
Adam says this?
Yeah, and Mike's like, okay. So they take Adam home, and his sister is pissed.
Yeah.
Because he left her last night.
Yeah, he did.
With her boyfriend.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
He sucks, her douchey boyfriend. And she's dressed in scrubs like she's on the way to go to the hospital. And she's like, good morning. Like in that kind of, like, annoyed. Where the fuck were you? Uh-huh. And he's like, hey, sis. And he goes to Mike, this is Brooke. Brooke, this is Mike. And she's like, hi, Mike. And Mike goes, you nurse? And she's like, I'm a medical assistant. I process nurses' paperwork. And he's like, way cooler. Which makes me like immediately like him.
Yeah.
Like, I love this guy. And she just goes, sure. She's really pissed. So Mike is walking in, and he sees like her kitchen chairs, and he's like, whoa, are these like retro Wakefield or Russell White? And he turns it over and he goes, oh, it's just a knockoff. That's cool though. And he goes, where'd you get this? And he goes, apparently the knockoff store. So how do you know my brother? And Mike says, he's on my roofing crew, but I'm an entrepreneur. So like I do a couple other things. I manage a few businesses. He's trying to like, he's into her. Yeah. She's hot. And he says, so the kid said something about breakfast. And she goes, well, he must be fucking drunk because I'm not cooking breakfast. He's like, I wasn't talking about you cooking it. We were going to swing by IHOP, but you know what? Okay, good talk. I'll be outside with the rest of the breakfast loving people of the world. And
he's a little cutie.
He's very adorable. He reminds me a lot of you. Well, when he's not dressing like Joe Rogan, he's dressed like you or a stripper. Those are the three things.
Everybody's always said that I'm the Channing Tatum of comedy. So
he kind of is.
Doesn't seem like a compliment when they say it, but I take it as one.
He does remind me a lot of you in this. His like cute things he does. It's like, oh, that's Deric.
I'm a cutie pie, man. As you being Mafia, 230 plus, 240 plus, 30 plus episodes. You know what it is.
That's what it is.
My cute face.
I wish everyone was watching this on YouTube because his cute face is horrifying.
Yeah, no, that's just cute.
It's just cute.
That's a pretty cute face.
That's going to be the cover of the.
Yeah.
Mm. So the scene.
So he's hitting
changes.
on this bitch.
Okay, so that's all he gets in that moment. He leaves. Scene changes. They're at the dance studio for practice. And it's McConaughey and Adam in front of this big like wall mirror. And McConaughey's like, you only get one virgin dance. you're going to have to learn how to dance. You walked out on that stage and you look like shit. I can't do it. I feel like I'm going too twangy.
You're doing great. You're fine. You're fine. He's all in his face.
And so the kid's like, what do you want me to do? He's like, for now, take your fucking clothes off. So the kid starts to undress. He's like, no, not like you're a 12-year-old in a locker room. Are you a 12-year-old in a locker room? You're a man. So now he's like, you're the man. And McConaughey's now in front of the mirror in like a deep squat. Like, I wish I could do. And he's like doing this kind of like gyrating thing where like you're sitting straight, but your hips are moving, so you're like kind of like fucking the air. He's humping the air.
Okay, Sam.
He's fucking the air. He's like, he squats and he starts humping the air in this like relaxed way. And he's like, you want to walk into that room and make eye contact with every woman there, but don't hold it. You want to act like you're fucking each and every one of them. And then when the time is right, and you'll know it, you're gonna boom, stick it. And that right there, that's like hitting the G-spot every single time. You try. So the kid starts to do it, and McConaughey gets behind him and is kind of like moving his hips.
Oh yeah.
But it's his dick is up on the kid's butt while he's doing it the whole time. So it's like a really funny scene. So you just see them both like doing it in motion together. And he says, see, baby, you aren't just stripping. You are fulfilling these women's fantasy. You are the husband they never had. You are the dreamboat guy that never came along. You are the wind fuck. You are their liberation. Who's got the cock? You do. They don't. And then he's moving it back and forth. He's like, now ready? All right, baby. 3, 1, 2, 3. Stick it. And they both at the same time with their dick. Then he grabs him by the face and he says, you can do this because I know you can. Now take a breath and fuck that mirror like you mean it.
Fuck yeah.
End scene.
I am all about that. That was very uplifting.
That's my favorite scene in the whole movie. Mike takes Adam underwear shopping. So they go to like one of those sex stores. He's like, you got to get you some 4th of July Star Spangled Banner underwear. He hands him some underwear. And Adam's like, these don't have a back. And he's like, it's a thong. Mm-hmm. And he's like, wait till Dallas gets a hold. You're lucky Dallas didn't take you underwear shopping. And Adam's like, what's the deal with Dallas? What's he like? What is he like? Is he a good guy? And Mike goes, Dallas is Dallas.
That's
so
fair.
You kind of like get the idea of what's going on between Mike and Dallas.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
New scene. Brooke has come home to her place.
Okay.
Adam's in the bathroom. And all of his stuff that he just bought with Mike is out in the living room in a box. Like underwear, like everything. He's in the bathroom shaving his legs. So she's knocking on the door. Hey, I want to talk to you. And he's like, I'm busy. I'll be out there in a second. And she's like, I want to talk now. Get the fuck out. I want to fucking talk to you. He's like, what do you want to talk about? And he's still shaving his legs. And she's like, I need to talk to you about this box of boots and thongs and sailor hats. I'm not going to judge you. And he says, he's still in the bathroom. It's for work. She's like, hey, I'm your sister. I don't care about your preferences. And he's like, what? And he finally comes out and he's got like the women's razor in his mouth. And he's like, wait, it's not what it looks like. It's for work. And she's like, are you shaving your legs? He's like, it's for work. And she's like, how could shaving your legs be for work? Scene cut. Uh-huh. You're back at the club.
Nice.
Brooke is there. So the scene changes, the club starts, and you hear you remember this song, dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum da dum dum, save a horse, ride a cowboy. That one? It's that song. And it's Adam's solo. He rides out on a cowboy, and so did the Ken doll guy, and they do this like fake like shoot off.
Yeah.
And then when the shoot off, he wins, and then he does his dance.
Amazing.
Obviously. And he's dancing on stage, and Brooke is watching, and she's fucking pissed, obviously. I was like, wouldn't you be pissed if your brother was stripping? I guess you don't have a younger brother.
I mean, I have a brother, Sam.
Yeah, but your brother's older. It would be a different feeling.
It's the same. Why would it be? What do you think it has anything to do with age? What's wrong with you? No, your brother's stripping. No, I don't think I would like that. I don't think I would like my brother stripping. I do not think I would be a fan. No.
She's upset.
I agree with her.
He's mostly also doing like a Dallas impression, like because also it's a cowboy theme, and every time you see Dallas, he's dressed like a cowboy.
Okay.
And the kind of dancing
like
is
Dallas
doing
Buyers Club. Dallas.
That's where this comes from.
That's Dallas. Also, Office reference. Connections all through this episode.
There's always Office references. So she's watching. She's upset. You see Mike come up to her, and he says, "Excuse me, you're going to have to move it down. This is a breakfast lovers only section." And she smiles, and she's like, "Hi, Mike. Is it entrepreneur stripper or stripper entrepreneur?"
Ooh, it's feisty.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, "Either one. Did you really just come to see your little brother?" And she's like, I came hoping it was a joke. And he's like, "It's pretty funny." And she's like, "Well, you better take care of him." And he's like, "Okay, Mom, I'll take care of him. But you should stick around, though." And then he walks off. So Adam's solo ends. And then Dallas gets up to bring up the next act. And he goes, "This next performer who's coming out, he's one of a kind. I saw this young man walking down the streets of Tampa a few years ago. And I knew then and there I had to bring him to share his talents with the world. Ladies, the one and only star of the show, Mr. Magic Mike." And then Genuine's Pony starts playing. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Sam.
I'm just a dancer looking for a what? You want to sing it while I explain?
Because you're like, Deric, I don't know it. You're like, I'm trying to sing it. I'm just a bad line.
So he
looking for a partner,
someone who knows how to ride. So he's such a good dancer. You don't realize he hasn't taken his clothes off. He doesn't take his first clothes off and his shirt off until you get to the chorus of the song.
Jump on it,
let's do it. Riding my pony, my saddle's waiting, coming, jump on it. And he's doing like stuff that no one could even dream of doing. Oh, he takes off, when he does finally take off his wife beater, he scrunches it up and puts it in his pants.
Yeah, baby.
Pulls it out, throws it at the audience.
Oh, did the girls go nuts?
They go fucking nuts.
That's amazing.
He does a backflip off stage, picks up a woman with her chair, and but has her legs over his shoulders so that he can drop the chair from underneath her, carry her to the stage, lay her down, dances over her. And then he does this really adorable thing where he pretends like it's just the two of them in a room or something and takes off his shoes really bashfully. Like that part reminded me of you a lot, actually. I was like, this is some kind of like act out Deric would do.
Well, I'm also going to make you laugh a little bit while I'm teasing you.
And then when he takes off his pants, you realize that the thong he's wearing is the same color of his hat. They're both like this hot pink color.
Ooh.
Which also reminded me of you. You always match your hats with your thongs. So the show's over. Mike's driving the kid home. He's like, "Did you see your sister?" And he's like, "You saw my sister?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was talking to her." He's like, "You talked to my sister?" He's like, "Yeah, didn't you invite her?" He's like, "I told her. I didn't think she would come." So the next scene, it's a new day. Mike is really dressed up, and he has like a suit and a briefcase. And he put a bunch of cash in his briefcase, and he goes to the bank. And he's acting how a child would portray a business person.
Yeah, like this is how a business guy would act.
Yeah, like even his outfit is like it's a little too tight, like it's a little too sexy.
Yeah.
Of a suit and tie. He looks too hot to be going into work.
Yeah.
But he's like all of the things he's saying and the way he's holding himself, it is like acting like a child would act. He's in the room with just the banker, like trying to open up a loan, and the banker is Skylar's sister from Breaking Bad, Marie.
Ooh, Marie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he places like this big fat stack of cash right in front of her for his down payment, and she's like, "I still need to run your credit and blah 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 if we're gonna give you a loan." And he's like, yeah, well, I talked to a guy last week that said that, like, if I brought a sizable down payment, I could forego the credit check. And she's like, really? And then he says someone's name, and she doesn't recognize it. It's obviously a lie. So she's like, sir, I'm sorry. You know, we have a threshold of credit and we can't offer it. And he keeps pushing. And he's like, you know what? I haven't even showed you what I'm here for. And he pulls out this binder that has all his furniture in it. And he's like, this is what I'm opening up, a furniture business. And she's like, I'm really, really sorry. My hands are tied. I just can't give you this loan. We have programs to provide relief to our distressed clients. And he takes that really personally. He's like, I'm sorry, what? I'm distressed? And he picks up his wad of cash. He's like, does this look distressed? And he walks off.
He's right. Like, bitch, I got money. He should be able to open a business. That's crazy.
But you can't get the kind of loan you need.
Because he has
no credit.
He's like me.
I think he has terrible credit.
Either terrible credit or no credit.
They never say, but I'm assuming.
I have no credit.
I'm assuming terrible. Because she said they need to be within a certain threshold, so that means it has to be really bad.
I don't think I'd be able to open a business.
No, you'd have to have someone else sign on with you, probably.
Because even though let's say if I had the money to do it, that's crazy.
It is.
Just because I have no credit. But I don't want any credit. I ain't trying to owe nobody shit.
You'd probably be able to open a business. I don't know what your credit is.
It's nothing. I've never had a credit card.
You can check your FICO score on your Bank of America account.
Guess I could.
You all can do that. Everyone can check their scores.
Yeah, everybody check their scores. Be Mafia, go check your scores.
Go check your credit score. Mine's great. I have perfect credit.
Yeah, Sam has great credit. I don't have a credit card. I've never had a credit card, so I don't know how. I've never used any credit cards, so it's like.
Yeah, you probably don't have any credit. Well, did you take out student loans?
Oh, yeah, I did.
And they got paid off?
Yeah.
You're fine. You got some credit.
That was the only credit I had.
That's also the answer.
I think I've had a gas card once in my life.
That doesn't count.
Paid that off. Exactly.
That's not going to count.
Does that count?
I had a gas card.
I had a library card, too.
You've had a library card? Sorry, I'll pull my hair back.
Sam's pulling her hair back to the listeners right now.
All right. Screen is black. It says July. Someone's ringing the doorbell of Brooke's apartment. She's pissed off because it's like early morning. Opens the door. It's Mike. He's dressed like Marilyn Monroe.
Like a woman?
Yes. Like he's got a blonde wig on and he's got like this tight white dress, like that she's wearing when it flies up. That outfit. And she's like, happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. And then he blows a little kazoo. And then he runs in and he gets on top of Adam, who's sleeping on the couch. He's like, wake up, we're going to a sandbar party. And Brooke's like, it's 7 a.m. And he's like, oh, miss, I don't like to have fun. You're not going to miss out on a fucking sandbar party. And then immediate scene change to they're on the way to the sandbar party.
What's a sandbar?
They're, I guess, I'm assuming it's when
a bar in the sand. I'm an idiot.
I think it's when the tide comes in enough that it exposes a portion of the sand from where they are.
Yeah.
So like because the sandbar is underneath the water. So I guess sometimes kind of.
Okay.
It looks like a small island.
Like, do you really know where you're talking?
It looks like a small island. Okay. So they're on the way to the sandbar party. It's a montage of them on the boat and going, and Brooke is not having a good time. Obviously, she's pissed. She's kind of perpetually pissed in this movie. But I get it. Her brother sucks.
Yeah, brother sucks. And then this nigga's at 7 a.m.
Yeah. But she starts having fun. And her and Mike are kind of hitting it off. They're sitting at the, on chairs on the beach enjoying it. And then Olivia Munn walks up.
Ooh.
And she's like, hey. And Mike's like, hey. And he hugs her. And she's like touching up on Brooke. And Brooke does not like it.
Well, because she's thinking like, oh, another threesome girl.
Yeah, she's thinking another threesome girl. And Brooke's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, she's like, ooh, what's this tattoo? And Brooke's like, it just says I was 17 and I made a mistake. Like she doesn't want you touching her body. And she's like, she kind of excuses herself from the situation. And Olivia's like, she's cute. And Mike's like, she's not really our type. And he's like, what do you mean she's not our type? He's like, she's more uptight. Well, we're going to fuck her. We're not going to take her to dinner. And he's like, that's what I mean. She's more like the take me to dinner type.
Damn.
And she's like, fine, you don't want to share. So later, Mike catches up with Brooke, and they flirt the rest of the day, and things are better. And they're making fun of what he does, and the other guys, and Dallas, because Dallas had said something about how he's gonna not put his kids in school and like teach him about the stock market instead and be rich. And so they're making fun of him. And they're just having a good time. And then Brooke confides in him and is like, yeah, Adam had a football scholarship, and then he got in a fist fight with his head coach and got, ejected from the school. So she's seriously worried about her brother's,
well,
her brother's a fuck up.
Idiot, dude. Oh my God. Her brother,
huge fuck up.
Fucking kid.
So she's like obviously worried about him, and she's like, I just don't know why he would get into stripping. And Mike's like, easy, women, money, and a good time. Like, what are you talking about? And he's just making her worried, and Mike's like, don't worry, I'll take care of him.
No, you won't. That's literally what happened. She said in the Players Club.
They always say they'll take care of him.
Yeah.
So that night there's a big 4th of July show at the club, obviously. And they show a shot of all the guys dressed in army pants with wife beaters on, except Dallas is completely shirtless, and he has the Uncle Sam hat on, and they're just marching on stage, and then they do a bunch of sexy moves after that and acrobatic things, and they pretend to shoot their dicks like this at one point.
That's cool. Sam was shooting her penis.
Yeah, they do that.
To the listeners.
And
she was shooting her penis load.
They rip their pants off. Oh no, wait, they didn't. It's the last thing they do. Before they rip their pants off, they do that. You know that dance everyone was doing where they're humping the floor and pounding it?
Yeah.
They did that. And then they finally rip their pants off, and then an American flag unfurls from the ceiling. It's very patriotic. So after the show that night, Adam is really, really drunk, and Mike's taking him home. And apparently that was all she needed for him to do to help him, was to take him home, because she's not pissed that Adam's drunk at all.
Yeah.
She's like, thanks, like, it's a good thing you're hot, Mike.
He is hot.
But when they come in, Brooke's with that Paul guy.
Who's Paul?
Paul's her boyfriend that they were on the date with on the first.
Oh, the jerk.
The jerk guy, the douchey guy. And Mike's just like, oh, what's up, dude? And Paul's like, what's up? And so as Mike's like, oh, I guess I got to go. And he's leaving, and he's talking to Brooke. He's like he's fatter and shorter than I thought, or, making fun of him. So Mike goes home, and he's alone, and he smooths out all of his money, and he presses it under a book to flatten it out. He calls Olivia Munn. Her name's Joanne. You only know her name's Joanne from this one scene where you see her calling her, and she's not. Then it immediately cuts to them having sex.
Okay, just them two.
Just them two.
No threesome.
No. They've just finished having sex.
Uh-huh.
So he's making small talk, how's school or whatever, and what do you study again? Which is also funny because at this point in the movie, she's told him she studies psychology at least twice. Okay. And she's like, yeah, in 6 weeks, I'll be a certified shrink. People will have to pay me now. And he's like, well, I'm not paying you for these little visits. She's like, I feel bad taking money from you anyway. And he goes, well, what are you going to open up your own office? And she goes, wow, you're real chatty Cathy tonight. You don't have to talk. You can just sit there and look pretty. It was clearly just using him for his body. Yeah. And then she's like, look, I'm going to go. And that's the end of that scene. Then we get another beautiful montage of men dancing in their underwear after that, which is honestly, if you've never seen this movie, I'm not doing it justice. Y'all have to go and watch these men gyrate. It is enjoyable.
I will. I make sure I will.
And not even in a sexual way. It's for the creativity of it all.
I am very impressed. I love men stripping, so don't we all?
So in the montage,
I am excited to watch this.
You're gonna watch it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm excited.
You're so silly.
So in the montage, you see the Tito guy. He's dressed up like a guy in the Navy. Tarzan does his Tarzan routine that we never saw. Yeah. Adam does this routine where he looks like he's an athlete practicing, but they've invited a woman onto stage with him, so he kind of gyrates on her. There's a Rocky Horror reference in one of the dances they do. Big Dick Rick is a firefighter. The montage ends with Big Dick Rick as a firefighter, and he's carrying a woman on stage, but he hurts his back.
Oh, damn.
Which is really funny because he's trying to hide it as he's getting off. So there's another after party, and at this one, Dallas is making a big announcement. He says, As of September 1st, we will no longer be the cock-rocking kings of Tampa. No, sir, no, ma'am. We will be the cock-rocking kings of 4,000 square feet of Miami Prime Beach real estate.
Yeah. I'm sure
It's everyone like, and everyone's giving each other hugs and high fives. And he gets to Mike and he's like, my main man. And he's like, and Mike's like, we doing this? And he's like, it's like I always said, you're going to get 7.5 around the board. And Mike goes, you said 10. So while that interaction's happening, we see on the side, Fluffy and the kid, Adam, are talking about pills that Fluffy's about to sell. And he's like, you want in? Mike doesn't want in, but I can get you half in. We make a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, okay, whatever. Scene ends. Oh, I know. They're still at the party. So everyone's having a good time. Everyone's kind of like fucking around, getting high, doing drugs. Mike tries to call Olivia Munn to hook up, but she doesn't want to.
She doesn't like all that talking.
She don't want all that talking. She don't want a relationship with him.
Yeah.
He's a stripper.
She's not into it.
Also, you know what it is. Also, that's he has to admit that you need to know that you're a stripper.
Yeah.
What do you think this is?
Stripper. To all you strippers who are listening to our pod. Talking
No, I guess
you.
just
You'll
me
never
like
find
as
love.
a dude stripper, and it's like, and you're fucking around with this girl. You can't think she's like seriously. You also are attracting other women with her, like. And now he's trying to like court her, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, you missed the boat on that. You didn't even know what she was studying.
I feel you on that.
So Adam's trying to fuck at the party, and there's this like hot pink-haired girl, and Mike's like, "What's her name?" He's like, "Nora," and she's got like this pig with her. The pig is of no importance whatsoever.
But she has a pig.
She has a pig. Every time you see this girl from this point on, she has this little pig with her, and she's always fucked up. She's always like doing ecstasy or drugs or something. So Adam starts fucking around with her and making out with her, and she takes him upstairs to where that Ken guy is to get drugs. And the Ken guy's in bed with this like naked woman. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I thought Ken was gay until this point in the movie because he's just like a really clean cut guy.
Okay.
And none of them were gay up until that point. So you just like assume one of them must be gay. It's probably this guy. Mm-hmm. It wasn't because he's got this woman. Or maybe he's bi. Who knows? So we've got this naked woman in bed, and Adam and the girl Nora are like, we want to order some drugs. And he's like, oh, fine. Yeah. Which is also weird because his woman is like all up on him. He's like, yeah, I'll give you some drugs.
God, Sam, it's so funny. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. So he's giving him the drugs, and Ken sees him looking at the naked woman's boobs. Adam's looking at her boobs, and he's like, my wife's tits are amazing, right? And Adam's like, yeah, I mean, yeah. And he's like, check them out, feel them. And Adam's like, what? And they're like, Ken's clearly on ecstasy.
Yeah.
He's like very chill about it. Like he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, feel them, dude. Just feel them. They're great. Like natural. And so finally Adam touches, he's like, is this okay? As he's touching her tits, he's like, it's okay with me. And he's like, she loves it. And then Adam like has taken the drugs at this point. He goes, I love you, man. And then Ken's like, I love you, man. And then this like big I love you, man thing happens. Screen goes black. It's August. Adam's just bought a truck that is either exactly the same truck as Mike's or he's bought Mike's. They never clarify that, okay. But he's bought a black truck.
Okay.
And Brooke's like, you just bought this? And then he's like, yeah, we're going out to celebrate. And so Mike and Adam take her out to this arcade, and it's a lot of Brooke and Mike flirty stuff, and Mike being adorable, you know. And she's like, she wants to know like about his entrepreneur stuff, and he tells her about his furniture business, and she's like, well, why don't you just do that if that's what you really like? And he makes all these excuses because he doesn't want to tell her, oh, I have bad credit and I can't. And they're flirting back and forth the whole time, and then he's like, you know, you want to get something to eat sometime? And she's like, what, like, you mean like a date? And he's like, well, I wasn't going to call it that, but you can call it that. And she's like, I'm still with Paul. And it's like kind of awkward for a second. And then Adam comes up and he's like, you trying to hit on my sister? Like a joke. And so that breaks up the whole thing. And Mike's like, come on, dude, we got to get ready. We have that sorority tonight. And they both start like humping the park bench, and they're like, I ate a Kappa. I ate a Kappa. I ate a Kappa. Because that's where, and Brooke's like, ew, you guys are gross.
Yeah, these guys are
and kind of walk away.
They're like, are they supposed to be children? I don't understand.
Well, that is, I think, what the whole movie is about. It's a big growing up experience. Because also Mike's much older than the kid.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't understand Mike's behavior. But then again, there are adults who are like this.
They show up at the sorority house. There's already a party going on, right? Uh-huh. And they're dressed like cops. So they come in and they're doing it like they're acting like the party is really getting busted.
I know. I've seen a million movies. I like how you're saying this like I know this trope, babe. Yes, I get it.
They're asking for IDs and they're like, "Man, we're going to have to pat you down. Can you please put your hands on the wall and spread your legs? You don't have anything sharp that could stick me." And she goes, "No." And he's like, "Good, because I do." And he rips off his hands. And all the women are like, "Woo!" And they're, dancing up on the girls. Yes. And the best part about this party is while this is happening in one room, there's a bunch of college guys in the other room just like awkwardly watching. Like regular guys that were also at this party that are just like there. While these women are having the fucking time of their life.
Weird.
So they're fucking dancing all over these women. The women are having a good time. And then you start seeing Adams giving away these pills to certain women and trying to sell them. Like here, have one. Do you want to buy more?
Okay.
And then it keeps continuing. They're dancing. It's hot. And then one of those college guys comes in and he's like, "Hey," to Adam, did you give my girl ecstasy?" And Adam's like, "Fuck off." And he's like, "Fuck off." And the guy knocks him over grabs a beer and hits him on the head. And then there's like a big brawl, which is also interesting because both Adam and Mike are just in underwear.
Yeah.
So they're like taking on these guys in their underwear. They have like the cop batons.
Is it just Adam and Mike?
Just Adam and Mike. It's just the two of them. They did this on their own. They have the batons. They're trying to ward off these young guys with the batons. Adam's got a fake gun. He's pointing at people. And when they finally get out, he throws the gun at them.
Yeah.
And they run off. They get in their car and they drive back to the club. Which is I just think that's so crazy that you'd have to get out like that. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
Keep going, babe.
I'm sorry.
You're supposed to be telling the movie.
I need a break. It's so much talking.
Oh my, that's because you keep talking. Okay, you have every scene. You also have to tell what you think of it.
I'm trying to get you to talk so I can take a break. In the truck.
you just love the movie too much. You just been talking about it. You tell me what happens, and then you tell me what you think about it. It's like, oh my God, you're double talking.
Normally I do what I think about. You're not saying anything about what you think about it.
You're saying it. What do you mean? You're literally saying it before me. I feel like, this girl is just having the time of her life right now.
Is this the worst one?
I'm loving watching you have the best time ever.
See, that doesn't make me feel better about the situation.
Well, I like it.
So they're in the truck, and Mike's like, "What the fuck are you doing giving pills to these girls? You can't be doing that." And Adam's like, "Fuck, I left my bag there." And Mike's like, "Well, you lost it." And Adam's like, "My pills are in that bag." And Mike's like, "How many pills are in there?" He's like, "I don't know, like 100. He's like, "God, what is that, like $1,000?" And he's like, "Well, you'll just have to eat that $1,000." And then Adam's like shaking his head like, whatever. I got equity in Miami. Dallas promised me equity. So I got money coming to me. It's not a problem.
Adam says this or Mike?
Adam says this.
Okay.
And Mike is just real quiet when he says that. Okay. So they get, I guess they park somewhere away from the club because they're walking down that original street they were on when they first meet, that downtown area. And they walk past a restaurant and he sees Olivia Munn in the restaurant. And he runs in to see her and she's with another dude and he's like, "Hey." And we find out that she's like, "Oh, hey, Mike, this is my fiance."
Yeah. So
he introduces the other guy who's her fiance. And Mike's like, "What the fuck?" And the fiance is so cool. He's like, "You know what? I think you guys need some stuff to talk about. You guys have some stuff to talk over. I'm going to go to the bathroom. It's nice meeting you, Mike." And he walks away. Like totally, this happens all the fucking time.
Yeah, ooh, go ahead and deal with whatever that is.
And he's like, "Okay, all right," to Olivia Munn, and she just goes, "It's good to see you." And that's the end of the scene. And that's the end of Olivia Munn.
She just dies.
So they finally get back to the club, and they're telling Dallas why they didn't get paid for the sorority and what happened. And Dallas is pissed the fuck off. He's like,
I would be too.
And he's like saying things like, "You're fucking up my reputation. We're about to go to Miami and you're going to do this to me and blah, blah, blah." And Mike's not having it the way saying, he doesn't like that the way Dallas is talking about it. It's his reputation. It's his club. And Dallas goes, nobody walks on water on my team. And then Mike goes, except you, Dallas. And then McConaughey goes, biting the hand that feeds you. And Mike goes, you don't feed me, Dallas. And Dallas says to Mike that he's old, and if he was really going to leave, he would have left a long time ago.
To Mike, yeah.
Yeah. And while this is all happening, you see Adam telling Fluffy he lost all of his pills, and Fluffy's pissed. And he's like, what are you going to do about it? And Adam's like, blows him off. And then the scene ends with the Dallas and Mike, and Dallas is like, if you want a bigger piece, come up with some fresher shit. You're not getting any younger. But which is also, it's unfair because we know that Dallas does everyone else's choreography. Mike does all of his own. And then you watch it, you know that Mike is the only person in the team who can dance.
Yeah.
Dallas can't dance like Mike.
Obviously.
Although he is very sexy. He's McConaughey. So it's a new day and it's before the show and Mike's about to go on stage and Dallas is like, what the fuck are you wearing this for? And he's got like, I don't even know how to describe it. When I first saw it, I thought it was like a bulletproof vest, but it looks kind of like what I guess you would wear if you were going to jump out of an airplane.
Okay. Parachute?
Yeah, it looks kind of like that. It's like sort of a harness around his chest, and he's got like, like kind of these pants, like loose pants to dance in. He's like, I took your advice. I'm going to do some fresher shit, seeing as I'm getting equity and all. And then he goes up and he does the craziest dance routine you've ever seen. Like he looks like he's skydiving at first, like the way he's like, he looks like he's dropping out of the sky. I don't know how he's doing that with his body. I can't even describe what it's like, kind of spinning like as if he's holding on to some kind of like rope coming out of a helicopter. And then when he gets down, he does this like sort of like, like kind of the Channing Tatum stuff.
If you're not watching, you just watch to see.
Like that kind of stuff.
Dance. This is how she dances.
And Dallas is just watching him and like with the same kind of like stoic face of like, yeah, I know I can't do that. So when Mike finally gets off stage, he's still pissed and he finds Adam and he's like, we're getting fucked up tonight. And there's a montage of them like buying drugs, going to clubs, dancing, fucking. And they're like seriously fucked up. Like
this is Mike and Adam?
Mike and Adam. They get really fucked up afterwards. So the montage ends and we can hear Brooke's voice and her knocking on the door first before the scene. You just hear her go, Mike! Hey, Mike! Are you in there? Hello! And Mike's in bed with a woman and he gets up and he comes to the door and she's like, hey, did you have fun last night? And he's like, what? And she's like, is Adam here? He left me a couple weird voicemails and now I can't get a hold of him. And he's like, yeah, but he's with somebody. Brooke walks around. She's looking for him. He goes upstairs. She finds Adam upstairs with that Nora girl, except he's passed out on the floor. Yeah. Like, he looks like he could be dead. Yeah. And she's like, Adam! And she's like slapping his face, trying to get him up, and he's not waking up. And she's like afraid he's not breathing. The pig's like licking him, And then she gets on top of that Nora girl, and she's like, what the fuck did you give him? What did you give him? What the fuck? She's crying like, I'm happy too. It's my brother. Yeah. And finally, Mike's like, he's breathing, he's fine, he's okay. She's like, she's so upset, and he's trying to help her, and she's like, I don't want your help. And she's so mad. She's like, Mike, you're such bullshit. You're a 30-year-old male stripper. And she's like crying over him, and she's trying to pick up. She can't. So I think Mike finally gets him into the car for her. You don't see that, but the next shot, Brooke's driving him home, and he's like flat on the back of the car, like across the back seat. Uh-huh. We see Mike sitting on a beach kind of pondering everything that just happened. Like looking at the water like, I can't believe this is my fucking life. What the fuck is wrong? She is right. I'm a 30-year-old stripper, loser. And then he's walking back to his place and he hears voices inside. So he runs in and he starts attacking these guys who have like just torn his apartment apart. And it's Fluffy and some big guys. And they're looking for the kid because he owes them 10 grand.
Wasn't a grand, it was 10 grand.
It wasn't a grand, it was 10 grand.
Wait, so Mike goes in and he starts attacking these guys?
Because he comes in and he sees his house is torn apart.
Do they immediately fuck him up or no?
They're trying to fuck him up, but Fluffy's like, stop. And then he's like, Mike, we're looking for the kid. He owes us money. And he's like, I know, but can he pay you back? He's like, it's 10 grand, he doesn't have it. Mike pays the money out of like his big savings of cash.
Because they're going to kill him.
Oh, of course. You owe $10,000 for drugs?
Yeah, and he doesn't have it. Yeah, they're going to kill him.
So Mike goes to talk to Adam, and instead he finds Brooke at the place, and she's like, Adam doesn't live here anymore. He moved out. I'm not sure where. He's probably with that Nora girl. He's like, this is such bullshit. And Brooke doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She's like, I've said everything I needed to say. And Mike's like, I'm sorry I fucked up. You're the last person I wanted to hurt. And she goes,
of course.
Look, Mike, I know you're like basically a good guy, but Adam was going to do whatever he wanted to do. And I just can't be around this lifestyle. And Mike goes, this lifestyle? I'm not my lifestyle. Am I Magic Mike talking to you right now? Like, wait, sorry, I lost. I'm not my job. That's not what I do. I mean, it's what I do, but that's not who I am. And that's why I want to go to Miami. I want to be able to make this money so I can change my life. I don't want to be a 40-year-old stripper.
Yeah.
So do you not believe anything I've ever said to you? And then Brooke says, Mike, I think the question is, do you believe it? I just think Miami is going to be a bigger, badder version of this. So good luck to you. I'm going to stay here. So Mike and Adam meet up later at like a beach bar. And Adam thanks him for paying for his debt, the $10,000. He's like, look, man, I'm going to pay you back. I know how much that money meant to you. And like, especially because you were going to do that furniture crap you wanted to do. Which that made me.
I'd have beat his ass right there. I'd have had to lay into his ass. I'd have fucked him up. My furniture crap right there. Bow!
He promises he's going to pay it all back. He's like, we're going to look back in 20 years. And he's like, you'll probably be dead. I'll look back in 20 years. And I'll be like, this was all crazy. Mm-hmm. Look where I was 3 months ago, Mike. I didn't have a job. And now I have money. I can fuck whoever I want. He thanks Mike for changing his life. Mm-hmm. And Mike is just silent the whole time.
Of course you love this movie. Keep going. This is so crazy.
So Mike's looking at everything differently. We hear Dallas. We're back at the club. Dallas is singing on stage, playing like acoustic guitar to the audience, and he's like, "Ladies of Tampa," and he's singing some kind of thing just about ladies of Tampa.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's doing this, we just see Mike in the back watching everyone get ready. You know, pump up their dicks, put on their outfits, you know, and he's like disillusioned by it all. Like, it's not like, what the fuck am I doing? That kind of look. Mm-hmm. And the shot keeps going back and forth between Dallas on stage, like he's dancing and doing this thing, and back to Mike, like falling out of love with it. And by the time Dallas removes his assless chaps on stage, we see Mike slip out. And so Dallas has had a great set. He comes backstage and he's like, all right, guys, are we going to make it fucking rain? And we're yeah. And all the guys are excited. And then someone's like, where's Mike? And the kid goes, Mike left. And Dallas like ignores him. He's like, Mikey, where the fuck is Mike? And Adam's like, he left. I thought he was going to take a piss, but then he never came back. Everyone's sort of like, what the fuck we're going to do? Except Dallas. He turns to Adam and he gives, let me get it. You ready to be the fucking man?
What does Adam say?
Adam's like, yeah. Let's go, kids. Kids in, Mike's out. We're going to Miami. And then we hear Dallas introing the Raining to Men song that we heard from the beginning. Uh-huh. But we see Mike driving in his car to Brooke's house.
Okay.
And you hear like kind of the song playing in the background over the shot of him at Brooke's, and he knocks on the door. And she goes, hey, what are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be at the show? And he goes, I need to talk. She invites him in and they sit at the kitchen table. And she says, look, I didn't know about the money with Adam. He told me, and I appreciate that you paid his debt and all that. And he's like, that's not what I'm here to talk about. Look, I'm not going to Miami. I'm done. I don't know. I guess I need a new plan. And then she's like, you want to get some food and talk about it? And he says, well, what do you mean? Like a date? And she says, well, and he's like, well, what would Paul say? And she goes, well, Paul doesn't have anything to say. I broke up with Paul. And he goes, well, in that case, I'd love to get breakfast with you. And she's like, well, okay, but there's a little bit of a problem. And he's like, what? He's like, well, my favorite breakfast place, like they have everything. And, you know, like if you want an omelet, they'll make you an omelet. They have waffles, whatever you like. But they don't open up till 6 a.m. And he's like, 6? That's like 7 hours from now. And she goes, yeah. What could we do with 7 hours? And then you hear, dun, dun. It feels like the first time. And he grabs her hand, and then she kisses him. And then it goes to black, and it's credits.
Wait, that's how it ends?
That's how it ends.
What the fuck is this movie, Samantha? I can't believe she's been hyping this movie up for years. Our whole relationship. Oh, Deric, it's such a good movie. Deric, I'm telling you, it's such a good movie. It's such a good movie. What the fuck? She just leaves her brother to die in Miami? In the stripper life? Her brother's gonna die.
Yeah, her brother's gonna be a loser stripper.
No, her brother's gonna die, bro. Her brother's
definitely gonna die.
Her brother makes those kind of decisions.
Yeah, her brother's such an idiot.
He makes those kind of decisions. He's gonna die, fool.
He punched his coach, the head coach. That's why he doesn't have a scholarship anymore. He got kicked out of the school.
Yo, that was the dumbest fucking shit. I can't wait to watch it. I'm so like, what the fuck was that?
You know what? I feel like I wasn't doing it justice because I'm not Channing Tatum and I wasn't gyrating all over the couch for you.
Do you think that's the problem?
Because that's really the most important part of the movie.
This is like a Fast and Furious movie, and it's like the stripping is the cars.
The stripping is the cars. Although, you know what? I think I was watching it, and I was like, people don't give Channing Tatum enough credit. He's actually a decent actor.
He's a great actor. I love him in Hateful Eight. He's amazing.
I forgot he's in that.
Yeah, you've seen that.
I saw the first 10 minutes of it, and I fell asleep.
Well, then you wouldn't have known he's in that.
No, but I've seen the ads for it, and I didn't know he was in it.
Yeah, but it's amazing. He's amazing. This does seem funny, and I will watch it. And I'm sure when I see the dancing, it'll be better. And when I see the cuts, and when I see how it was made, like, you know, it's clearly made to be funny. It's made to, you know, make fun of itself.
Yeah, it's not so funny. It's serious.
It's serious.
But it has little moments where you're like, that's cute.
Yeah. But it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Oh, yeah.
You kept saying it was good.
It is good. Were you not entertained?
You were entertaining.
Oh.
But I'm definitely going to watch it.
Okay.
It's a very interesting movie. I can't believe that's what you wanted to tell me so bad. That's what I'm more like. This is what you were like, I have to tell Deric this movie. I'm so glad you did, though. You did a great job. You were phenomenal.
Thank you.
Bean Mafia, what'd you think? Did she do good?
I feel like I talk too much.
The story of your life. Guys, Samantha Lee Lopez is the best. I'm so glad you reversed a movie for me. That was really fun. It was a fun fucking movie. I will say that. I did have a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it. It's because it seems like it's right up in my alley.
Yeah.
You know? But you were amazing, dude.
Thank you.
That was another one for the books. Bean Mafia, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in a couple days. You sons of bitches.